Okay. Week 4. Also, obviously, I got a haircut. Obviously. I'm still figuring out the fringe thing. It's my first time styling it on my own today. And I want it to be swept to the side, but I'm trying to find a way to have it stay in place the way that I want it to. So I'm figuring it out. But today, we're just going to put the clip in. Okay? Because I'm not figuring that out right now. Week 4. This week was really average. This week felt pretty shit, to be honest. And I don't think it's just the book. I've just had a lot of external stresses this week, and I just have felt like hit after hit after hit. But I also think after this experience with the book that I'm reading, it's had me asking questions about myself and unraveling things about myself. And I think it's caused a lot of growth, which I think as you grow, sometimes you outgrow external environments and people. And just things start to change, and that's what this week has felt like. It's been so hard. It's actually been really hard. I've really struggled. I've felt really stressed. I haven't felt the magic of the artist way this week. I just feel like my foundations are shaking below me right now, and it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, and yeah, so that's been kind of my main theme and focus of this week. But I have had time to do a lot of the Artist Way tasks, which has been super cool, and the Artist Way tasks were great. Again, I did the morning pages every day. There's not been a day I have not done the morning pages, but this week I found it super hard to want to do them. There are some days where I wake up and I'm like, oh, it can't be fucked. But yeah, this week I found it quite hard. There was a part of me that's just like, oh, I just don't want to do it. And I could just totally not do it. But I had to force myself to do it because I knew that if I didn't do it, it would become the new normal. It takes one slip up, I feel, to go, oh, don't really feel like it today, or I'll do it tomorrow, and then that becomes your new normal. And I just don't want to experience that with the morning pages. I don't have an issue with the morning pages. I think sometimes it's just you wake up first thing and your brain has to generate thoughts. So I just find it kind of hard. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to say anything. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to use my brain at this time of the morning. Yeah, but I've been doing it anyway. Every day. So let's have a look at the reflective questions. I have actually read through chapter 4 a couple times. Oh no, twice this week, just because she has so many words. I feel like when it gets to the end of the week and I do my reflections, I'm like, actually, what the fuck was she talking about? Because I can't remember, because she just says so much and her wording is very it's a lot to process and to take in. So I read most of it. I read all of it once, most of it twice. I was actually asked, so there was a part of her task. Actually, no, I'm gonna answer the questions first and then I'll get into that part. So the check-in, the first question is, how many days did you do your morning pages? How was the experience for you? Like I said, I did it every day. The experience for me was feel like it's pretty steady, like my experience with the morning pages. Like I said, I don't think I have too much of an issue with the morning pages because it just feels like a fast journaling session for me. It's almost like I asked myself, what's the point in journaling, because I just got out what I needed to say in the morning pages and I don't want to have to rewrite it. But I also, like I said, sometimes I don't want to use my brain, and I don't, like, I'll be talking about something, I'm like, I actually don't have the energy to dive deeper into that. And I don't know if that's like I think it's just my brain. Like, my brain doesn't want to use that much energy and do this heavy lifting that early in the morning, diving deep into my subconscious or anything like that. So sometimes I just stop. I'm like, yeah, I'm done talking about this now. That's what I've noticed. This week, I've also noticed I've been really, really angry, really, really grumpy. And like I said, I think it's also some external circumstances that have been influencing that as well. So my morning pages have been very like, there was one day where I was just like, fuck you. Like, fuck you and fuck this. I'm so annoyed. I'm done. This is so frustrating, blah, 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 blah. But I knew I wasn't done. I was just feeling done. And I needed to express it. Yeah. It was a very emotional week for me this week. And that's not the reason for the haircut. Well, no. Second question. Did you do your artist date this week? I think I'm meant to be doing it tomorrow. I actually even haven't thought about what I'm going to do for the artist day. I do have a list of things that I want to do, a list of things I find fun, because through my reflections with the Artist Way, she's asked you to like make a list of things that you find fun, blah, 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 blah. So I am not running out of that. I've just got to pick one, and I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm kind of, okay, so something that I've wanted to do that maybe I'll do tomorrow, actually, I think I'll do it tomorrow, is I want to go bowling on my own, because you can play with the computer. And I have thought about the last time I played bowling, I was like a kid. Why is adult me not doing bowling? I think that that's so much fun. So I think that's one of my artist day ideas that I've had in the back of my mind since I started the Artist Way. So I might do that tomorrow. I'll think if anything else like sparks my mind or sparks inspiration for me or something. But bowling would be so much fun. I also played chess for the first time since I was a kid, since I was like 9 years old, because I wanted to play chess. It's in my little list of things that I would like to do, that I like had to reflect on when the last time I did that thing was, and I wrote down chess and I was like, oh my god, I haven't done that since like in almost 20 years. So that was really cool. That was really fun, actually. Really fun. Did you experience any synchronicity this week? I'm gonna have to think about that, actually. Yes. Yes. I did. I experienced a few. I went to a poetry event that I was invited to, and I had to visit the old suburb that I used to live in. That was... I left when I was in a really bad way. So it was my first time going back to that suburb since I'd left it, and it was strange. And I went there, I thought I was going to feel like super emotional about it. And I did eventually, it just came later, but I went to this poetry event and I made new connections. And I don't know, I found that as a synchronicity because I've been speaking about, meeting more people that are like-minded in the sense of sharing art with and sharing the depth of art with and sharing, my love for art and the feelings behind art and really diving into the deeper kind of understandings for art. So I've kind of made it a point to put out in the world that that's something that I want to do, and I want to meet more people that I relate to in that way. And at the poetry event, I was about to leave, and then I met someone that I had previously seen before. They hadn't seen me, but I'd seen them do a poetry night, and I thought their poem was amazing. So I got talking to them, and we just ended up having such a good conversation, and I really appreciated it for so many different reasons. But we spoke for like half an hour, and then I actually just decided to ask her, I just felt really good, and I just decided to ask her, like, do you want to be friends? Which is kind of cute. But I just asked, I was like, do you want to be friends? Like, do you want to catch up one time? Because you seem super cool. And it was just a really nice chat. And I think I found it a synchronicity because it was when I was thinking about wanting to find more like-minded artsy, have a little like-minded artsy community to share that part of myself with. Because it's a very big part of who I am, my art, and wanting to kind of express it so deeply and my love for it so deeply. And that was really cool. And then it also felt great because I was like, wow, I went to that suburb thinking it was going to be super hard, but I actually just made a new connection in that suburb where I once lost a connection and felt a lot of pain, and that once held painful memories. And only painful memories, I birthed a new memory there with someone else, and I thought that was really cool. And then that same person sent me a message with a song. They were like, I just thought, this was a song for them that reminded them of their spark when they felt a little lost in it. And they sent me this song, and I have been meaning to listen to it. And then a few mornings ago, I woke up super, super early in the morning, and I wasn't feeling great at all. And I went for a walk super early in the morning because I remembered the brisk walk that Julia recommended artists do if they're having a stressful time or going through something. I was like, okay, I need to go out for a fucking brisk walk right now. And then I came back home and I was like, wait, I'll listen to her song, because I feel like maybe it's something I need right now. And I listened to that song she sent me, and I was like, oh my gosh. It just helped me slow down. I felt all the feelings I needed to feel, and it was just really lovely. And that felt like a synchronicity to me, because I feel like that morning I was like to the universe, what the fuck? Like, I was kind of having a go. I was super pissed off, and I was making it quite apparent, and I was like, help me. And then I got that song, and in the song there's literally a part toward the end where there's this person speaking. They're like preaching. And it's like this massive, like, I can't even explain it, but it felt like the universe literally talking to me and responding to what I was speaking to them about early in the morning. I was like, okay, this was the reminder that I needed. So that was really lovely. So that was really cool. And I think moments like that, just finding little moments where I'm like, okay, it's going to be okay. In the end, it's going to be okay. Even when times right now or this week feel stressful, it's not forever. Because I think it's so easy for me to get lost in the source of like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Blah, 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 blah. And like, feeling really overwhelmed by the feelings I'm feeling in that moment and what's going on in my current life can sometimes take up so much space that I forget about all the other good things that are happening around me, and the hope and the fact that it doesn't last forever. Every time has a season. And I needed those little reminders this week to hold on to. And I also had that where I did one of the tasks. They were asking, I loved the tasks this week that I did. I still actually have 2 more that I said I was going to do that I haven't done yet, but I've done quite a few of them. There was one that was asking you to describe yourself at 80 and then write a letter from your 80-year-old self to the current you. Like, what would you tell yourself? What would you encourage? Blah, 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 blah. And I wrote out, 80-year-old me said, first of all, chill out. But she also said, every moment of time you've spent worrying has still ended up in me being happy. Every unanswered question, every conflict unresolved, still has ended up in me sitting here, content with my life and myself. I want to encourage you to remember that anytime the overwhelm feels like it's the only thing you have going for you. And I really needed to hear that this week. And that's so true. Like, I think that's just such a helpful thing to remember, to envision an older version of yourself, where you want them to be, where you believe you will be. And remembering that these times won't last forever. I think it's important to spend moments of time focusing on you still end up okay. Every other time you've gone through something extremely fucking hard, you've still ended up okay. Whether it be a shit day, a shit month, a shit year, a shit few years, you've always eventually bounced back, and it will happen again. And I definitely needed that reminder and those messages this week. What else? Were there any other issues that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. I feel like I don't really have much time to be creative. I feel like this takes up a lot of my time, if I'm honest. And there are ways that I am being creative. I just guess not in the way that I imagined. Like, I'm doing things that are for the betterment of my artist self, but they're not like, I'm not physically drawing. I'm not writing a song. I'm not really like writing a finished poem and all this stuff. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time in recovery. Shit, yeah, I guess it is recovery. Because I just hear that some people, this is a way where it opens a channel where they're just like, the floodgates of creativity are just bursting. For me, I think it's been more of like, okay, this is a time to just learn to trust yourself, trust the journey, trust life and the universe again, and learn about who you are again and who you are as an artist and what you want. I think it's been more of an internal experience for me rather than an external experience for me. But that's been something, I think, to acknowledge. I don't feel like, because she gets us to do all these tasks and the morning pages and all this stuff. Morning pages take ages. They take like 30 to 45 minutes. I wake up really, really early in the morning every day to do them and commit to them. And then by the time I finish work, obviously you spend so much time in your days at work. When I finish work, I come home, I do my dinner, I do my other little creative bits and pieces which aren't really making anything but just honing my skills, and then I go to bed and then I do it all again. So it's, yeah, I think it's just about letting this be a recovery and letting it unfold and seeing what happens from there. There's a lot of changes happening anyway, and I think there is soon to be a few external changes, so we'll see. We'll see how my life, my world adapts to a potentially new routine. Yeah. Anywho, that's it. Week 5, going into week 5 from tomorrow. Oh yeah. Just reading deprivation. So I couldn't actually scroll on Instagram. I couldn't consume any content over the past week. Because Julia wanted less consumption and more creation, or more like just listening to your internal world rather than taking in stories and news and conflict and drama and TV and scrolling, all that shit. So I haven't been doing that all week, but I did break it a few times, and I became aware of when I wanted to break it and didn't. I broke, most of the time that I broke it was out of habit. The amount of times like I've clicked on Instagram, I'm like, wait, I can't go on it. It's, yeah. But I think it's good to kind of like have time away from consuming content, or like doom scrolling, or just scrolling and taking in a bunch of information within like the span of 30 minutes. You know, you've scrolled like over 50 reels. It's kind of wild. So that was good. Anyway, I don't want to keep my weekly reflections much longer than what they have been, because they are quite long. But I'm excited for week 5. Week 5 is recovering a sense of possibility. So this week you're being asked to examine your payoffs and remaining stuck. You will explore how you curtail your own possibilities by placing limits on the good you can receive. You will examine the cost of settling for appearing good instead of being authentic. You may find yourself thinking about radical changes, no longer ruling out your growth by making others the cause of your constriction. All right. See you at week 5.